Welcome back to the deep dive. So today we're looking at a stack of notes that sits at a really tricky intersection.
Technology and language.
Exactly. We're digging into Agile testing, but not just the methodologies. We're focusing on the specific English you actually need to, survive in that world.
Right, because you can be a brilliant technical tester, but if you can't articulate why a bug is important in, say, a daily stand-up meeting, your impact is, well, it's limited.
So the mission is twofold.
Yep. Unpack the Agile mindset and arm you with the specific B1 level professional English for that ISTQB Agile Tester certification.
It's about understanding the ideas and having the vocabulary to fight your corner. Okay, so before we jump in, we have a little challenge for you. Call it the ISTQB Pop Quiz.
Right, so keep this question in your mind as we chat. In an Agile team, who is responsible for quality?
Is it A, only the QA engineer, B, the Scrum Master?
C, the whole team, or D, the product owner?
Don't answer yet. Let's see if the logic of Agile itself sort of leads you there naturally. So let's start with the big mindset shift. If you're coming from a traditional model, what people call waterfall, what's the biggest change?
Well, the headline is that testing stops being a phase. It's not this thing that happens at the end anymore.
Right, where the developers build for 6 months and then just throw it over the wall to the testers.
Exactly. In Agile, testing is a continuous process. It happens all the time.
Which makes sense. Finding a bug right at the end is so expensive to fix.
It's massively expensive, and this continuous testing happens throughout something called a sprint.
Okay, let's pause on that word. Sprint. Because if you're learning business English, that can be confusing. We're not talking about running a race.
No, not a physical one. In Agile, a sprint is what we call a time-boxed iteration.
Right.
It's a set period of time, usually 2 weeks, where the team commits to finishing a very specific set of tasks. You don't plan the whole year, you just plan the next sprint.
So you're working in these short, repeatable cycles. And within that sprint, testers aren't off in their own corner.
Not at all. They're working right alongside developers and the product owner from day one. That's the whole team approach.
Okay, but let me play devil's advocate. If I'm a developer and you tell me everyone is responsible for quality, does that mean I'm doing all the testing now? Why do we need a specialist?
That's a great question, and it's where the friction often happens. The developer does test their own code unit tests and so on, but the tester brings a specific critical mindset.
How so?
A developer is thinking, how do I make this work? The tester is thinking, what could go wrong? What happens if the user enters a negative number here or a weird symbol?
So the developer builds and the tester critiques.
Precisely. And they do this critique on these small units of work. We call them user stories.
That's another key term for our B1 vocabulary list, right? User story.
A huge one. Instead of a massive requirements document, Agile breaks the work down. A user story is just a small, self-contained piece of work that describes what a user wants to achieve.
So you're not testing the entire payment system. You're just verifying this one user story about adding a credit card.
Exactly. But sometimes you can't verify it. Maybe the test server is down or the data you need is missing.
And there's a specific word for that.
There is. It's a blocker.
Blocker. So simple, but so powerful in a team meeting.
It really is. A blocker is any issue that prevents you or the team from making progress.
Okay, so let's put these 3 words, sprint, user story, and blocker, into a real-world context. You're in your daily stand-up, you've got 30 seconds. How do you sound professional?
You just need to say what you did, what you're doing, and if you have any problems. A perfect B1 level update would sound something like this. Yesterday, I finished the regression test. Today, I am starting exploratory testing for the new user story. I have no blockers.
That's great. It's so tight. But wait, you threw 2 extra terms in there, regression and exploratory?
Ah, good catch.
Let's quickly decode those.
Sure. Regression testing is just checking that the old code still works after the new changes. You don't want to break something that was already fine.
Makes sense. And exploratory.
That's more creative, unscripted testing. You're exploring the system, trying to break it without following a rigid checklist.
Got it. So,
Hmm.
I checked the old stuff is okay, regression. Now I'm creatively trying to break the new specific task, user story, and nothing is stopping me. No blockers.
Perfect summary. That's clear professional communication. And that brings us right back to our challenge question.
Yes, we asked. In an agile team, who is responsible for quality?
And if you were listening to our chat about the whole team approach, the answer has to be C, the whole team.
This really is the core mindset shift, isn't it? The QA engineer might lead the testing effort, but they don't own quality alone.
No. If a big bug gets out to customers, the product owner and the developer can't just say, well, the tester missed it. It's a shared failure.
Quality is baked in from the start, not inspected at the end.
Exactly. And mastering this vocabulary, knowing when to call out a blocker or to discuss the scope of a user story in a sprint, that's what allows you to participate in that shared responsibility.
It's the difference between being just a worker on the team and being a true partner in delivering value.
It really is. And we see it in the data. People who can articulate these ideas clearly in English are the ones getting promoted and seeing those salary increases.
We'll leave you with a final thought on that. If the whole team is responsible for quality, does that make the modern tester more of a policeman or more of a coach? Think about how that changes your conversations tomorrow. Thanks for listening to this deep dive.
See you next time.